This animation consists of two parts. The first part shows how seamounts and tablemounts are created along a mid-ocean ridge. The second part deals with 3 stages of coral reef development. Formation of seamounts, tablemounts. Because of seafloor spreading, active volcanoes called seamounts occur along the crest of the mid-ocean ridge. Some volcanoes become so high that they rise above sea level as islands, at which point wave erosion becomes important. Other seamounts never reach the surface and retain their more pointed shape on top. As seafloor spreading moves an active island away from its source of magma, the top of the island can be flattened by wave erosion in just a few million years. The animation shows how this flattened seamount, now a tablemount, continues to be carried away from its source, and after millions of years is submerged beneath the ocean. Notice in the animation how the seafloor gets progressively older in either direction as it is carried away from the crest of the mid-ocean ridge by seafloor spreading. Also notice that the seafloor is transported into deeper water, carrying with it tablemounts that were originally at sea level. Stages of coral reef development. Frequently, the tops of tablemounts contain evidence of shallow water conditions such as ancient coral reef deposits that were carried with it into deeper water. This animation shows both a cross-sectional, side, and perspective, top view of an active seamount that extends above sea level. Coral reefs develop in tropical seas where there are specific environmental conditions that are conducive to the growth of coral reefs. The animation begins by showing the first stage of coral reef development, called the fringing reef stage. Notice how close the coral reefs are to the volcanic island. As the seafloor moves away from the mid-ocean ridge, notice how the volcano subsides and becomes inactive as it moves away from its source of magma. At the same time, the coral reefs build up to stay within the sunlit surface waters. Also notice that the slider bar indicates that the seafloor is aging progressively as it moves further from the mid-ocean ridge. The animation pauses at the second stage of coral reef development, called the barrier reef stage. Notice the prominent lagoon separating the active coral reefs from the inactive volcano. Notice how the volcano continues to sink and eventually disappears from view. Meanwhile, the coral reefs continue to build up. The animation ends at the third stage of coral reef development, called the atoll stage. Notice that the once active volcano is now completely submerged beneath the central lagoon, and it gradually becomes completely covered by coral.